Hey there good people, it's your Crippled Critic, and this week I'm going to take a look at the third and final demo for Resident Evil 7. This time around they added new areas, ways to solve old puzzles from the other demos, and actual combat, both melee and shooting combat. So I'm going to jump right in and give a brief look at the control options for the last time. Like before, the control options give you the ability to invert certain control buttons like L1, L2, R1, R2, which is now used for combat mostly. You can also invert L3 and R3, which is used for crouching. There are subtitles and language options as well. The biggest changes to the control options are areas that were blurred out before, but in this last demo are now available, like the VR mode. I remember hearing about a VR exclusive demo for Resident Evil 7 that came out last month, but it looks like the VR capability is also available for this current demo too. The aim assist is now a function that makes sense, as in this demo they give you a handgun to fight enemies, so I recommend trying out the gun, seeing how well the aim assist works. I do want to mention the nice feature they added that involves the aiming reticle. If the aiming reticle gets in your way, it gives you the option to turn it off. It also gives you the option of changing the color. This can help it stand out better for some, but it can also help colorblind players if they want to pick a color that they will find easier to see. There's one big thing I found from playing this last demo of Resident Evil 7 is that disabled gamers with fine motor skill impairments are going to have a lot of trouble playing this. Now, to be fair, this is a demo, but I have played 3 different versions of the same demo, and they all highlight different aspects of the control options, so I have a pretty good idea of how the game is going to play. As easy as I thought the gameplay was, once they added combat in this newest demo, it really ramped up the difficulty for me. The melee combat is not very forgiving. I basically had to swing wildly at the enemy and hope to hit him. It also takes several hits to kill an enemy. To be honest, I wasn't even able to get past where the first enemy was introduced because I could never kill it. I wasn't even able to test out the handgun and shooting mechanics because of that. It didn't help that the save function in this demo makes it so when you die, you have to start all over from the beginning of the demo. I assume they'll improve the save function. Still, what this tells me is I'm not going to be able to play the full game on the consoles, and I should probably stick to PC because it'll give me more flexible options to aim. Like I said before in the other demos, gamers with hearing impairments should do fine, as there are subtitles and even a form of captions with certain sounds like the phone icon. Let me quickly go over some of the new places and features they've added in the demo, although I have to admit, not being able to get very far in the demo because of the combat and the monsters really sucked the fun out of the experience for me. Also, playing 3 different demos that take place in the same house kind of make it less scary, but I'll do my best to tackle everything. To unlock the new areas, you'll have to go through the routine of unlocking the previous areas in the demo, like the attic. You probably remember having to look in the fireplace, pull the lever, and go in the secret compartment to the left. That's where you'll find the fuse, and once you put the fuse in the fuse box, you'll be able to get to the attic. The attic is important because that's where you'll find the basement key, and that's a useful item now in this demo. You'll also need to get some handgun ammo. I also recommend getting the fire axe again, as you'll need it to fight enemies. The handgun isn't given to you until way after the first time you encounter an enemy, so if you don't have some form of weapon in the basement, you'll be screwed like I was the first time. If you remember, getting the fire axe requires you to do a really long and drawn out puzzle involving time travel and a video cassette where you have to lockpick something in order to affect the past and the future. If you want a better description of how to do that puzzle, definitely check out my video on the last demo. Once you get the fire axe and the basement key, you might also want to pick up the celluloid finger and the hand, as they're both useful now in the demo. Head on over to the moldy door on the other end of the house. This door was locked previously in the other demos, but you can go through it now. The new area behind the door unlocks a whole other lower level in the house. The first hallway leads to the basement, but it also has several locked doors and an open bathroom covered in blood. The bathroom doesn't have much other than creepy imagery and a bicycle in the bathtub, but it also has a puzzle later on you can solve. For now, head to the basement door at the end of the hall. Be mindful of any handgun ammo in drawers. Also, there's a notebook in one of the drawers in the hallway that's blank. You can use that later for a puzzle. Unlock the door at the end of the hall with the basement key. Once you go down the stairs into the basement, this is the last safe room before an enemy appears. There should be a boiler on your left, and on top of it, or next to it, is a lockpick that you can pick up. When you go through the next door, you'll enter a creepy room filled with body bags on stretchers and body bags hanging from the ceiling. The room to your right is a storage room with shelves and a key on one of them. In the body bag room, there's a valve laying on a stretcher, but as soon as you move it, an enemy will appear in a random place in the area. If you try to leave, one of the Baker family members will be holding the door shut with a box. You can kick it open, but you'll first have to deal with the science experiment monster that appears. This is the part where I kept dying. I did try looking up what happens if you defeat it, so once you do defeat the monster, you can go back upstairs, use the valve in the bathroom to solve the pipe puzzle, revealing a handgun in the toilet. Now you'll have the choice to go back down to the basement and shoot some monsters with a handgun, or just leave the house. With the key that you found in the basement, you can go back up to the attic, climb the ladder, and escape through the window if you like. That'll be the end of the demo. Lastly, I want to mention that the celluloid hand you find in the house actually lets you solve a puzzle now in this demo that involves 5 different murders that happened in this house. You might remember in the last demo, there was some scribbled writing in the attic. If you go back up to the attic now, you can unlock a new puzzle, if you have the blank notebook I told you about earlier. You can now use the celluloid hand to point at certain areas in the house, and this will reveal all of the murders to you. The first scribbled entry in the attic is the first murder. The other 4 include a toppled over bookshelf, a boarded up door, a pot in the kitchen, and a beam in the attic. Once you find them all, a door in the attic will unlock, and inside you'll see a message alongside an item that says 30 coin. I read that the coin will unlock something in the full game if you buy it, but no one knows what yet. All of this kind of reeks of PT influence yet again, so I wasn't really impressed with this puzzle. Well, this last demo definitely showed me that Resident Evil 7 is going to be more like Resident Evil than I originally thought. But still, I don't think I'm going to play this on consoles. I'm going to go with PC. And I recommend gamers with fine motor skill impairments to play the PC version as well. You'll just have more options that way. There's potential for a good horror game in this, but after playing 3 demos, I'm just ready for the real game. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.